this evening. What you see in front of you is a little mock-up of a living room type room that you might find in your own house. It was built by my truck crew, and I really appreciate it. They worked really hard on it, and I'd appreciate if you give them a good big hand for all the work that they did. I'm just the guy on the microphone tonight, so I didn't really have much to do with it. You're just going to hear me talk for the next couple minutes. This is going to demonstrate a flashover. It's a phenomenon that we see in the fire service where everything in the room ignites simultaneously. So we're going to start a small fire in a trash can, and that fire is going to grow. That fire is going to grow slowly. What you're going to see is you're going to hear the smoke detector go off, and the fire is going to keep growing and growing, and you're going to see a flashover. What happens in a flashover is the fire keeps growing and everything kind of heats up at the same time. And it reaches a certain point where everything in the room that's flammable will instantly burst into flames at the same time. And a lot of times that happens before we ever get there. So think about this, that you're home in bed sleeping, the first indication of anything wrong is going to be you're going to hear the smoke detector go off. And once that happens, you're going to find out that it doesn't take very long for the room to flash over. So imagine that this is your house and you hear a smoke detector, and just think about the time that it takes from that smoke detector going off until the room flashes over. And imagine you have to get out of bed, gather your family together, get outside and call the fire department. Because until the smoke detector goes off, we have no idea that there's anything wrong, and neither do you. Excuse me. So what I hope that you leave here with is the fact that when you hear a smoke detector, that you need to get out. Don't try to put the fire out, because by the time you hear the smoke detector, it's already too late for you to try and put that fire out yourself. We want you to leave. Call the fire department from outside. Get your family together. Don't worry about things, because things can be replaced, but you can't. The other thing I want you to think about is the fact that we want you to have a smoke detector on every level of your house, and in every room that there's a sleeping room. So you're talking multiple smoke detectors. You could have a fire in the basement, the first floor, the attic. So you want a smoke detector on every level, and you also want one in every sleeping room. So once we start the fire, I want you to watch this TV camera. What that's going to do is record the temperature. You're going to see the fire grow. And I don't know if you can see it, but the temperature is listed in the bottom corners. You'll see the ambient temperature outside and also how hot it gets inside. The temperature is going to get over 1,000 degrees when the room flashes over. And remember, like I said before, a lot of times the flashover occurs before the fire department ever gets there. So we're getting there after this happens, and that's when we put the fire out. But the firefighters can't survive in a flashover. We have basically, if that happens while we're there, we have seconds. Our gear is not going to protect us in a flashover. It's going to fail pretty quickly. It's enough time for us to get out. And that's my message to you people, is when you hear the smoke detector, you need to get out and not put the fire. So I'm going to warn everybody that's in the front here, when the room flashes over, it's going to get warm. You're going to feel that heat. So if that's something that might bother you, maybe you want to move back a little bit. You might move back when it finally happens. Once we start this, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to have a little timer that I'm going to kind of keep track of the time. I'm going to give you the time when the smoke detector goes off. And I'm just going to note the time as when it flashes over. And then when it flashes over, we're going to put the fire out. So I'd also like to thank Home Depot. You can see that we have our little logo. Home Depot donated the materials for us to build this, and our guys went out and scavenged furniture. Keep in mind that we didn't do anything to this. There's no gasoline or anything. This is a trash can and normal furniture like you have. We're not going to do anything extra to make this fire start and grow. So you're going to see how fast it actually happens. So, okay guys, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Here we go. Here goes nothing. That's we have a flare, so.
Okay, so I'm starting the timer right now. smoke detector just went off at 20 seconds. That's your clue. You need to get out. You'll watch the fire. The fire will grow in the corner, nice and slow. What's that?
171?
It's 145 degrees in the middle of the room. We just passed 1 minute. What's happening right now is that fire is called the free burning stage. The chairs are made of foam, which is a part of a petroleum product. So that fire is growing slowly, and it's slowly heating up everything else in that room. A fire will double in size every minute.
There we go.
We just passed 2 minutes. Now think about it. You need to get out of bed. You need to get out. We call the fire department. The fire department needs to go to the firehouse, get the trucks, and drive the trucks to your house to put the fire out. At this point, you would not be able to put this fire out with a fire extinguisher. It's already too late. If you look over at the camera, you can see the plume of the house. You can see how the heat is rising and going across the ceiling. There's our little tree is burning up. Watch the lampshade.
There it goes.
Everything is starting to heat up right now. Watch the smoke. The smoke will bank down very fast.
At the ceiling, Tim.
We have 500 degrees at the ceiling. Watch the smoke, 900 degrees. Watch it. You can feel the heat over here. And see now, we're just about at the flashover stage. We have 1,500 degrees at the ceiling. And it's pretty much now, watch the smoke will bank down, and that's where we're at. 4 minutes. There we go. The carpet is lit off. We've just had a flashover. Okay guys, put it out. 4 minutes and 25 seconds. And that's a typical room. Now, think about it. This is a room that has a whole wall missing. And we still had a flashover. So imagine this could be your home. And this is why we preach smoke detectors. So when you hear the smoke detector, you need to get out. So that was less than 5 minutes from the first start of the fire to the time that we've had a flashover. Now I want you to come to our fire station in October during Fire Prevention Week. We're going to take this same room and we're going to put a single sprinkler head in the ceiling. And we're going to supply that sprinkler head with a garden hose. and you're going to see that the room is never going to flash over. That sprinkler head is going to put that fire out before it ever gets to that stage. So we're going to put some flyers out and some advertisements. So you come to our fire station, and Fire Prevention Week is the first weekend in October. So what do we have at the ceiling? So at the ceiling of this little room, we reached 1,600 degrees at the height of the fire. So that's our demonstration for this evening. I'm glad that you could attend and partake in it. Like I said, everyone, if you don't have any smoke detectors in your house, please go get some. It's the difference between life and death.